Hey everyone, it is late at night and I am Norman. Tonight we're going to rank some watch brands. However, there's a twist. Let us begin. This is going to be an interesting video. I don't have any kind of script whatsoever. I don't even have a bulleted list. I have pondered some different brands and what I think of them, but we're pretty much just making it up as it goes in this video. And this video was actually inspired by a hilarious coding languages ranking video that I saw. But I'm not going to rip off this guy's whole shtick of opening up his video saying he had no idea of what to do for a video, so this is what we're doing, or not caring about the algorithm, or just in general not caring. It was hilarious. So this video is not going to be that funny, but we're going to sort of sarcastically, cynically rate watch brands. And I wanted to do a screen share for this, but every time I try to do OBS or other screen shares, it just doesn't work. The audio wanders and it's just bad. I could probably hook my camera up, which has an actual set frame rate, but that sounds like a lot of work. So we're just gonna fake it. We'll make it look like I'm doing all of that. So here is my ranking chart. We'll go ahead and put that in front of me like this. And then we'll reduce my track in the video editor and pop me in front down at the bottom like that. That way it looks like I'm screen sharing. And then I have a whole bunch of icons for the different watch brands that will lay on top of the chart, and I'll just move those around as though I'm moving them on a computer screen. And since I don't have a script, I did all of these icons after the fact. It's sort of like a weird non-linear time thing. So the different categories that we have the bottom one, which shall not be named, and was inspired by the Pontiff. I love me some Archie luxury. So yeah, those are the watches that are terrible. Then we have the category of yeah, no. Then we have aight, and we have I'd hit that. And then the creme de la creme are the bangers. Okay, so let's see. Let's start out with Seiko. I mean, Seiko is kind of like the Honda of the watch world. I mean, they're all over the place, all different ranges, all different styles, super popular, just all over. So surely we're gonna rank that brand pretty high. However, what they did to the SKX line, that is unforgivable. So I'm gonna put them in the yeah, no. Even though they have like the cocktail time and stuff. But the SKX line. And I suppose it makes sense to follow that up with Grand Seiko. And Grand Seiko doesn't have an SKX line to destroy. So they haven't. So they're bangers. And we could get one of the obvious brands out of the way. Rolex, the pinnacle of luxury watchmaking. I mean, they do make the Oyster Perpetual, the Explorer, yeah. I mean, the Submariners are okay, I suppose. The Daytonas are okay. But they're weightless, and even worse than that, the display-only stuff. Yeah, no. Nope. Let's see, there's Omega, and I mean, the Moon watch is pretty cool, but it's just everywhere. They have some other kind of cool designs. They're very reputable. Everyone likes them. Everyone respects them. And there's the Don Draper and other brilliant vintage pieces. So, they're alright. Let's see, there's Christopher Ward. Christopher Ward, brilliant British watchmaking, super respected. They make absolutely solid pieces. Their case design is just phenomenal. I've owned 3 Christopher Wards at one time or another. Absolutely amazing watches. But they had a brilliant dress line. I know because I owned one of the watches in this line. They're Malvern 595. They completely abandoned this line. And they were the only pieces that the brand made that were thin, dainty, brilliant, dressy dress watches. Completely abandoned the line, and everything is everyday wear or sports. The remaining dress watches, not like the Malvern was. However, they have done an amazing collaboration with Mr. Jones watches, so I'd hit that. And speaking of Mr. Jones watches, bangers. Absolutely bangers. Those watches are so much fun. Yes, those. Let's see, there's Longines. Longine's alright. There's some cool pieces, but they do make the Dolce Vita. Bangers. Absolutely bangers. Just because they do that. Just because they make the Dolce Vita. There's JLC, the watchmaker's watch brand. The Reverso. They have other brilliant looking pieces. How can I not put JLC in the bangers category? You kind of have to. There's Wittenauer. Wittenauer is still around. They made some absolutely brilliant vintage watches. I know because I own one, but I know what they look like now. So this brand goes all the way down in that category. Let's see, there's Casio, and you might think that I would go to the G-Shock as sort of the standard that I'm going to rate this brand on, but no. The F91W is still being produced and still has the worst light ever in any LCD watch. If it's pitch black and your eyes are used to the darkness, you might be able to discern what hour it is. Because of this, I am rating this brand bangers. That is so awesome that they still have those lights in the F91W. They have not upgraded that. They don't even care. So awesome. Speaking of which, how about Invicta? And I know, you don't have to flood the comments. I know that Invicta does make some great looking watches. I know that they do have some heritage, but that's not what we're talking about tonight. We're going to be judging this brand on their big, crazy, gaudy watches that have earned them a lot of hate. It's kind of like if Texas was a watch, or a roided out gym bro was a watch, or those lifted trucks with the gigantic American flags flying from the back of them. If one of those was a watch, that's Invicta. But Invicta does not care. They do not give a crap at all. And because of that, I'm going to put these in the I category, because that's kind of funny. There's Bulova, and Bulova's okay. They have their Accutron line, and the vintage space views are pretty cool. I feel like they missed the mark on the modern space views though. I don't know why they did that. But there is the Legacy line. The Accutron Legacy line. I own 2 watches from that line, and both of them are absolutely brilliant. Bulova is bangers. Okay, so there are a bunch of brands where a majority of the pieces they make are kind of accessible mid-tier watches. So we'll just kind of blow through all of those. There's Tissot. They've had great success with their PRX line. And if we're talking about the PRX in photographs, I would definitely rate it as I'd hit that. But in person, they're oddly disappointing. So I'm gonna have to say, yeah, no. There's Hamilton. They make a wide variety of watches, kind of all over the place, which is cool. I did have the terrible Ventura adventure, where it got shipped to the wrong address. Probably my fault, but that watch is cursed. But there is the Murph, and I feel like just because of the 38 variant of that watch, which is shockingly brilliant when you put it on the wrist, I'm gonna have to say I'd hit that. There's Certina, and their watches are okay. However, I did own a DS1 that kind of had sort of pull router vibes to it. And that watch I took to Vegas with my brother and his wife, and it had so many good memories programmed into it. I've mentioned it in past videos. When I would look at that watch, it was like a visceral reaction. That feeling when you first walk into a hotel room at the beginning of your vacation, that's what I felt every time I looked at it. And just because of that watch, I'm gonna say Certina I'd hit it. Because I would actually get one of those again, just to see if, even though it's a different watch, it's the same exact reference and stuff, if it had those same feelings that the one I used to own had, where I look at it and just, the beginning of vacation. Alright, enough of that category. Let's see, there's Tudor, bangers. That brand makes so many cool watches. They're actually accessible. And being the little nephew of Rolex, you get high quality production. So, bangers. There's Oris. Oris makes some great watches too. Their dive watches are brilliant. I love their pointer date pieces. Bangers. There's Cartier, and Cartier definitely has their own design language. You can look at any of their pieces and know instantly you're looking at a Cartier. Brilliant pieces like the Tank Americaine, their other tank watches. I'm actually not a fan of the Santos, but most of their other tank watches I absolutely love. Their balloon watches are interesting, kind of funny looking, actually. But I appreciate their design language and love their tanks, so how am I not gonna say Cartier is bangers? And for now, we'll wrap this video up with one more brand, Movado. And I mean, they make so many pieces that are not good looking. I get it, the whole dot shtick, but man, that just looks terrible on so many pieces that they do. However, the museum alone holds this brand up. It's like all their other designs are just cats, domestic cats, laying around, eating food, destroying furniture and carpets, and peeing on carpets, and blowing up litter boxes. But the museum alone elevates this brand to at least I'd hit it. But if you can find a neo-vintage museum in a smaller size, bangers. So we've ranked some watch brands and had fun doing it. Of course, I left out so many brands, but yeah, can't go on forever. Thanks for watching.